And we will be live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, good evening, and welcome to... It's the first monument of the season. It is the big one from Italy, Milan-Sanremo, 300 kilometres, and delighted to be joined once again by Jay Thomson. Jay, how are you?
Yeah, super, David. Thanks for having me again.
No problem. No problem. So, since we last spoke, you endured the pain of Paris-Nice, one of the toughest races on the calendar, horrible weather. You were one of the finishers, which is kind of a result in itself. How hard was the week?
Paris-Nice, I think sometimes you can even say it's like the hardest race of the year. It's not really the hardest race, but from the way it just plays out with the weather, the conditions, everything, it's just a week that you just want in your legs because you know it's going to be good for the upcoming classics, but for the head it hurts.
I mean, we saw a lot of riders kind of jump off the bike early. For you, the motivation to continue, was it, you mentioned there, getting good legs for the classics? Is that why you keep going?
Yeah, look, I started a bit sick in Paris, so I was always like on the back foot already from day one, but every day kind of got a little bit more healthy and started feeling a little bit better. So, you know, by the time we got to the last stages, I was almost feeling a little bit, not normal, but feeling a bit better. And so, you know, of course, to go through all of it, to suffer for 5-6 days and then feel better and then stop would makes no sense when I can do 2 hard days of racing and, you know, use that for what's coming up with the classics and the season in itself.
You managed to get yourself in a breakaway. How does it feel when you make the break and then you look around and there's only you and 2 others?
Oh, come on. That's all I thought. I was like, you're kidding, right? Come on. Come on. You guys are giving it to you want to give it to the sprinters. But yeah, at the end of the day, they spoiled the sprinters' party anyway, but it was touch and go for that. Yeah.
Have you ever returned to the bunch? Have you ever just thought, nah?
No, I've never done that. If I commit to going in the break, then that's my, you know, I've seen guys do it, like go in the break at 3 and say, nah, I'm going back to the bunch and sit up. I think that's, if you in the morning you wake up and you say I'm going in the break and I'm only going in the break if it's 5 or 6 guys, then you must be the 5th guy that attacks. You mustn't be the first one to go and expect 5 to come with you. If you're the first to go and only 2 come with, then that was your decision to make and make a good day out of it. Eh? Train away.
How much chatter goes on when it's just you and 2 other guys? I mean, how much do you talk to each other in a long breakaway stage?
To be totally honest, not really a lot. You just actually kind of just talk about it, slowing down, speeding up. You take this, you do that, and you know, you kind of just try and motivate each other to keep going further and longer. But then when there's a bit of a language barrier between English and Italian or French or Spanish, and you know, then it's a little bit harder. So, but no, in general, not a lot when you're in a small break like that.
Just go, go, go. Is that it?
Yes, pretty much. Slow down. Let's keep it for later. Go then, go now. You know.
Looking towards tomorrow. Obviously, Milan-Sanremo, a huge race for a lot of people. It kind of divides many in terms of who enjoys it and who hates it. I think I'm definitely in the I don't really enjoy it kind of camp. Do you like, as a rider, is it a race that you like?
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't want to be here if I didn't like the race. You know, it's something about it being the first monument of the year, the Primavera, the longest one of the year. Yeah, a lot of people call it the sprinters race, but at the end of the day, if you look at the statistics, it's never really been 170 guys coming in for one sprint. You know, so you know, you got groups of 20, 30, 50. Yeah, sprinters make it because they It's not 3,000 meters of climbing or 4,000 meters of climbing. That's the reason why a sprinter makes it there, but the climbs aren't long enough maybe to drop a sprinter. But to win Milan-Sanremo, you have to have the golden ticket. It's not just anybody that wins Sanremo. You've seen guys from punchy little guys like Jay Thomson winning to Cipollini winning, and Cavendish winning. So I think it's one of those races where a lot of luck has to come into it, but you also have to have the legs. It's not just about a sprinter. It's not just about a climber. You have to have the golden legs, and if you don't have them, then you're not winning Milan-Sanremo.
We've seen you in the past ride on the front in this race as well as many others. Now, Cavendish crashed out of Tirreno first stage. Will it be a different role for you tomorrow?
Yeah, I think tomorrow we'll play it a little bit different, going right from kilometre zero. So, of course, my job will be is still doing the support role and breaking the wind in a different position, trying to go further, trying to see where I can get into the race and see how far I can take the guys in a good position that we can have as many guys in the final,
And people who are watching will want to know about Cavendish. What's the kind of feeling like in the camp?
Yeah, it's good. I think it's unknown on how it's going to go in racing. Of course, we all know what the media says and what everything's going. So yeah, we have to wait and see tomorrow. But he's a champion. He's won Sanremo before. He's been in the final many times before. So if he's got the golden legs on tomorrow, who knows? And we could see him sprinting to win, or you could see him stepping off the bike. I think with that sort of injury, you don't really know how it's going to go until you're going. And when the adrenaline runs over it, you generally don't feel it.
And if he's not there, I suppose the team also have Edvald Boasson-Hagen, Scott Thwaite, so that there are other options if Cavendish is not fully recovered from his crash.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've got guys that can be in the final. We've got guys that can potentially be there to be in the mix to win the race. So, that's the thing. If Cav's not feeling up to it, we've got 3 other guys and a potential with the wild card of Steve hanging in the background, waiting for something to happen.
How's the weather? We've heard a lot this week about rain due for tomorrow. Forecast looks a little bit mixed. I've seen some forecasts that say it will rain, some that say Sanremo is actually going to be okay. What is the weather like?
It's definitely not going to be 2013. Let's tell you that. Actually, I laugh about it. 2013, we had the same day before. Weather was perfect. So, at the moment, it looks okay outside. I also look at weather all the time in advance, and I try and look at 10 different sites and look at everything. And right now, it looks like we're probably going to start in a little bit of. We're going to be a bit of duck weather, and then we should be okay once we get to the coast. If we're really lucky, tomorrow might be the whole day just wet roads, and we get onto the coast and it's a little bit of headwind, sunshine. We might see a big bunch sprint.
How important is the kind of clothing aspect if it's cold and potentially wet? How much thought goes into what you actually wear?
Actually, quite a bit. It becomes quite a process. I've got like an emergency bag packed inside my backpack, always like for a morning weather change, sort of protocol I have to put in for myself. Obviously, I was never born in temperatures with this kind of cold weather, and yeah, you get slightly used to it over the years. But as a South African, we're not 100% to it, so that becomes the most important thing. It becomes more important than eating to dress right, because once you get cold, then you can't eat, you can't drink, you can't even function. Like I can tell you, once I get cold, it's like lights out. So you learn how to dress You learn how to use feet warmers and hand warmers and heat creams and, you know, rubber shoe covers and rubber gloves and you name it. I've learned how to play with everything to try and keep myself as warm as possible.
Now the race starts at, I think it's 9:45 your time. Early start, obviously such a long race. What is the routine for the morning?
Yeah, it's an early start, so breakfast is early. You know, you have to still drive into the centre of Milan to where the start is. So, you know, normally takes 1 hour from the hotel, and so it's an early day. You know, getting up probably 6:30 in the morning. Okay, general day for me, but you know, for a lot of guys, they're not used to waking up at 6:30 in the morning. So, you know, it becomes a long day and a hard day. And by the time you've rolled to the bus in Sanremo and you've done the whole race, you're looking at almost like literally 8 hours from when you've left the bus to when you go back onto the bus again.
What's breakfast tomorrow? Is it pasta? Is it porridge? What's your choice on a kind of for the long day of Sanremo?
Yeah, everybody has his own, but yeah, I like to have a bit of porridge and fill up on a bit of bread, you know, something sweet, and then a lot of coffee.
I suppose what everybody's wondering is, how do you beat Sagan? Coming into this race with so many riders out or injured or having been unwell recently, Sagan arrives as the nailed-on enormous favourite for the win. Can he be beaten?
I think we've had this discussion before. I think the only person that beats Sagan is Sagan. I think he's the guy that outdoes himself. To be totally honest, the way he's going, Kwiatkowski maybe is the only guy that can beat him again. But the only person that beats Sagan is if Sagan makes a mistake, like he did last year. Rides the last 2Ks because he thinks he's better than everybody else. It's when he's such a phenomenon. It's you have to make a mistake to lose, you know. And that's, if you look at all of these races that he hasn't won in recent times, it's because of something that he's done, not because everybody was better than him. It's because he made a mistake somewhere along the line, and that cost him putting his hands up. And I think he's hungry as ever to win Sanremo. He's been here every year since 2011 or 12 and still hasn't won it. And,
you know, I'm like many people who think Sagan is one of, if not the best there's ever been, but he still has only one monument, which must wrangle with him a little bit, I think, because he is obviously such a phenomenon, and he would clearly want to have more. A world champion has not won this race, I think, since it was '83. So the statistics kind of go against him. I hear what you're saying, and last year he clearly kind of made a mistake. Kwiatkowski was clever and, you know, deservedly won. You would say it'll be very interesting to see this season if he attacks on the Poggio. What do you think? Do you think he'll be more patient this year?
No, I don't think so.
He'll just go.
If the weather plays the way that it looks like it's going to play with the slight headwind, I think they're going to move, but it's still going to be 20 guys, maybe even more, maybe even 30 guys that are going to come to that final. And if he's patient and Demar isn't there, I think he's got the chance to win. But then you have to hope that Demar has a bad day.
And I suppose people will talk about, maybe you've mentioned Demar. I would agree. I think Demar, of the so-called sprinters, seems to be the best just now. There's Christoph, who is not having the best season in the world. So Demar, I mean, you were there in Paris-Nice. You would have seen his uphill grind for the first stage victory. Demar seems to be in very good form. On a personal note, the next few weeks seem very busy for you. You know, just some small races like E3 and Gent-Wevelgem and Dwars de Vlaanderen and Flanders and Shell de Prix and Paris-Roubaix. So You know, just some small races coming up?
Yeah, just a few small little bike races to do the next couple of weeks. Yeah, looking forward to it. But yeah, this is always a tough period. You know, you're away from home a lot, and it's not easy races. And yeah, now it looks like we're not going to have the best of weather. Maybe this spring, I don't know. My gut feeling is we're going to get a lot of rain. Maybe we have my first wet rebate. I don't know. So this part of the year is always a hard period, but it's always an enjoyable period once you get through it.
And training-wise, you've got such big races coming up, long, demanding races. How do you alter your training program in between those races? Is it kind of short, relatively easy rides for training?
Yeah, because normally you only have, like, we do Sanremo now Saturday, and then we race again on Friday. So, yeah, maybe Sunday, Monday, you're taking it easy. Then Tuesday, try and do a longer ride, and then maybe a little bit intense on Wednesday, and Thursday you're already tapering off for racing Friday. Then Saturday you can't do much. Sunday you race. Monday you recover from Friday and Sunday, and then Tuesday you do a short ride. Wednesday you race again. Then you got 3 days before Flanders, so maybe you do a recon on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday easy, Sunday race. Monday you rest. Tuesday small ride. Wednesday shoulder race. Okay, it's not a demanding race. So then Thursday you do the last 140 of Roubaix. Then Friday, Saturday recover and do Roubaix. Then it's actually you don't really train now. Training's pretty much done. You maybe do 1 or 2 hard rides. No, maybe 1 hard ride now between Sanremo and E3, and that's it. The rest is all just trying to recover and make sure your body doesn't shut down because you're taking it too easy, but you won't do anything long and you won't do anything hard with 8 races in 2 weeks pretty much.
And do you, as a professional athlete, do you ever feel sore after these races? You know, like the normal amateur rider, they go out and they ride 100k, the next day they can barely walk up the stairs. So, like, as a professional athlete, do you still have the fatigue in the muscles, or is that not an issue the next couple of days?
Yeah, you have a different. I think, like, in a sense, you have that fatigue, but you just have it in a different feeling. You know, of course, we're not robots, we're not machines. When you're racing a 300-kilometer race, and especially if you go deep into the final, I think that's where I should actually make the difference. If you race into the final of these big races, the next day, yeah, of course, your legs are going to be tired because you're not really riding that out. Where if you're getting dropped earlier on, 20, 30k to go, you're not going full gas anymore. You're just riding a tempo so you can try and either come back, or you're just riding a tempo so you can get to the finish line. So you kind of almost get your recovery done before you get to the bus. Yeah, and you are tired. You do need to recover, but not that you can't walk upstairs. Okay, maybe after a bay.
And one more question about tomorrow. It's kind of been topical just now, and we'll see them, the fans on the side of the road who have the multicoloured flares.
What?
It looks great. How hard is it for you?
Yeah, it's not ideal because my allergies are not ideal with that smoke that comes out of those flares. Yeah, they're great and you love it because they're so passionate about the sport. But to be honest, it's not ideal when you're going up a climb and you've done 260 k's in the legs and you're going over those Capamela, Veda and Berta, and then suddenly somebody's spraying a flare and you can barely see, let alone breathe.
And one more prediction for tomorrow. Who's going to walk away with the title?
Go with the wind conditions. I'm going to say it's going to be a sprinter, and I'm going to put my money on Lamar.
And you think sprint from what, 30, 40?
Yeah, maybe even 50 guys. I think it's going to be a bigger group than we've seen in the last couple of years.
Okay, I will go Sagan from the sprint. I think he will learn from last year, and having Daniel Oss will be important because he now has a rider who can chase the attackers once we come off the podio. So Damar for you, Sagan for me. Jay, thank you very much for taking time out just before you must be going to your bed for a small ride tomorrow.
Yeah, just for a little joy ride down to the coast.
Right, thanks very much, Jay.
And yeah, pleasure.